close your eyes for a second and just listen. Every car has an engine, but only a handful of them in the entire history of the automobile have a voice. A sound so distinct that you could pick it out from a mile away in the dark without ever seeing it. And this one belongs to a legend. Because in the 1990s, on the mud and snow and gravel of the world's most dangerous sport, two Japanese weapons went to war. In our last story, we met the first of them, the Mitsubishi Evo. Cold, precise, surgical. A weapon built with the ruthless focus of a scalpel. But it had an enemy that fought a completely different way. Where the Evo was calculated, this car was emotional. Where the Evo impressed you, this one made you fall in love. It was blue and gold. It rumbled like nothing else on earth. And in the hands of the most beloved driver who ever lived, it became something more than a car. This is the story of the Subaru Impreza, the weapon that had a soul. To understand why people love this car so deeply, you have to understand where it came from. Because Subaru was never supposed to build a legend. They were a small, strange, stubbornly different company. While everyone else chased sports cars and luxury, Subaru built practical, rugged, all-wheel drive cars for farmers, for mountain villages, for people who needed to get through snow and mud to get to work. They were the quirky outsider of the car world, the last company on earth you'd expect to go to war. But Subaru had a secret weapon hidden in plain sight. For years, they had been perfecting one specific thing while everyone ignored them: all-wheel drive, sending power to all four wheels, all the time. And it turned out that this humble, practical technology, the thing they'd built for farmers in snow, was exactly what you needed to conquer a rally stage. And then there was the heart of it. While almost every other car in the world used a conventional engine, Subaru did something different. They used a boxer engine. Instead of the pistons standing upright, they lay flat, punching outwards horizontally, like a boxer throwing punches. It sat lower in the car, which helped it handle. But more than that, it gave the Subaru its unmistakable voice. That deep, offbeat, burbling rumble. A sound so unique that to this day, enthusiasts around the world can identify a Subaru with their eyes closed. It didn't just drive differently, it sounded alive. So they took all of it, the all-wheel drive, the boxer engine, the underdog spirit, and they poured it into a compact, unassuming sedan called the Impreza. And then they went looking for a war. The war they found was the same one we saw last time. The same rule that forced Mitsubishi to sell you the Evo, homologation, applied to Subaru too. If they wanted to race the Impreza, they had to sell it to the public. And so, the moment Subaru arrived, the greatest rivalry in rally history was born. Subaru and Mitsubishi, two small Japanese companies from the same country, chasing the same crown, generation after generation, for over a decade. But here's what made it beautiful. They didn't fight the same way. The Mitsubishi was the scalpel, sharp, clinical, brutally effective. The Subaru was the hammer with a heartbeat. It had character, it had noise, it had a personality you could feel through the wheel. Fans didn't just support one car over the other, they fell in love with the philosophy. You were either an Evo person or a Subaru person. And that choice said something about you. Did you want cold, ruthless precision? Or did you want fire, passion, and a soundtrack that made the hair on your neck stand up? Millions of people around the world picked their side. And for a huge number of them, there was only ever one answer, the blue one. Because the Subaru had something the Evo, for all its brilliance, never quite had. It had a face. It had a color that became iconic. And soon, it would have a hero that the whole world would fall in love with. His name was Colin McRae. And to understand what he meant, you have to understand that most great drivers win by being smooth, controlled, calculated, never using more than they need. Colin McRae was not that kind of driver. McRae drove like the car was on fire and he was trying to outrun the flames, flat out, sideways, always right on the edge of disaster, and often just past it. He had a philosophy. and it became one of the most famous phrases in all of motorsport. If in doubt, flat out. When you're not sure you'll make the corner, go faster. It was breathtaking to watch. Sometimes it ended in a spectacular crash, but when it worked, it was the most thrilling thing in all of sport. In 1995, driving that blue Subaru, Colin McRae became the World Rally Champion, at the time, the youngest in history. And a nation, and then a whole world of fans, fell completely in love. Because people didn't love McRae for being perfect. They loved him because he drove with his heart. He was fearless. He was exciting. He gave everything, every single stage, whether he was winning or crashing. There was an honesty to the way he drove. He didn't hide behind caution or calculation. He simply pointed the car down the road and threw everything he had at it. And you could feel it, even watching on a screen thousands of miles away. And the car he did it in, that blue and gold Impreza, became inseparable from the man. You couldn't think of one without the other. The car had found its soul, and its soul was Colin McRae. And then something happened that took this car far beyond the forests of the rally world. That blue color, with the gold wheels, and later the enormous rear wing, became one of the most recognizable images in all of car culture. A symbol. A generation of kids who had never even seen a real rally stage grew up worshiping this car. They drove it in video games. They put posters of it on their walls. They learned that a small, practical Subaru sedan, the kind of car that should have been boring, was secretly one of the most exciting machines on the planet. Just like the Evo, it was a wolf in sheep's clothing. But where the Evo hid its violence, the Subaru wore its heart on its sleeve. That scream, that rumble, that blue, it wanted you to know what it was. And it built something that very few cars ever managed to build, a genuine community, a family. To this day, Subaru owners wave at each other on the road. They gather. They share a bond over that boxer rumble and that blue paint. The Impreza didn't just win races, it won hearts, and it kept them. But no war lasts forever. As the years passed, the golden age of rally began to fade. The rules changed, the budgets exploded, and one by one, the great manufacturers began to walk away. Subaru, after decades of blue and gold glory, eventually withdrew from the championship that had made it famous. The forest fell quiet, and there was a deeper loss too. In 2007, the world lost Colin McRae himself in a helicopter accident. He was just 39 years old. The man who had given the Subaru its soul was gone far, far too soon. And motorsport lost one of the most beloved figures it has ever known. To this day, his name is spoken with a reverence and an affection that very few drivers ever earned. The Impreza, and the WRX STI it became, carried on for years, but the world was changing around it. Tastes moved on. The rally heroes that made it famous became history. And eventually, the STI, the road-going descendant of a rally legend, quietly reached the end of its road. Another icon, like so many we've talked about, gently switching off. So what does the Subaru leave behind? The Evo taught us that a weapon could be perfect. The Subaru taught us something that matters just as much, that a machine can have a soul. It proved that the way something makes you feel, the sound, the character, the emotion, the human being behind the wheel, can matter just as much as how fast it goes. The Subaru wasn't always the fastest. It didn't always win, but it was loved in a way that pure perfection can never quite be loved. Because we don't fall in love with things that are flawless. We fall in love with things that have character, things that feel alive, things that, like Colin McRae himself, give everything they have with their whole heart, every single time. Perfection earns your respect, but it's the things with a soul that earn your love, and love is what lasts. That blue Subaru wasn't just a car, it was a feeling, and feelings are the things we never forget. So let me ask you, when it comes to the greatest rivalry in rally history, which side are you on? The cold precision of the Evo, or the burning heart of the Subaru? There's no wrong answer, but I think you already know which one I'd pick. Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, because that's what this channel is all about. Not just the machines, but the passion, the people, and the moments that turned metal and rubber into something we actually love. If you want more stories like this, you know what to do. Stick around. We're only just getting started. I'll see you on the next one.